Hello everyone, back to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. So day 10 will take us to the 15th of January, right to the middle of the month, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video. Next 4 weeks, and that'll take us just the beginning of February, I suppose. The ECMWF 30-day look ahead has been released. First one of the year. It's been on a bit of a break over Christmas and New Year, but it's back today. So check out the EC 30-day forecast for the UK and also for Northern Europe if you'd like to do that. We're going to show you weeks 5 and 6 data in the live stream tomorrow from 6 o'clock in the evening. So you'll be able to see weeks 5 and 6 go further into February. In that live stream tomorrow. Now, I'm going to need channel members, so I'm going to say thank you so much. Hello, thank you so much to all of our channel members, and a special hello and thank you so much to our latest channel member, Darren Daubney. Thank you so much to Darren Daubney for becoming a channel member for Gaza. It's incredibly kind. Thank you so much, Darren, for doing that. Thank you so much to all of our all of our channel members, patrons, donors, and whatnot. Thank you so much. Super chatters in live streams. Thank you so much to all of you. Happy New Year to all of you as well. And yeah, thank you so much for all of the support. And of course, thank you so much to Darren Daubney for becoming our latest channel member. If you'd like to become a channel member for Gazwo, this is what you need to do is come to Gazwo's YouTube homepage, click the join button. That'll take you through to another page where you see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member for Gazwo. This you sign up on that page as well. So thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. You can support Gazwo in other ways, so it doesn't have to be financial. You can give support by watching videos, by sharing videos, by liking videos, by subscribing to our channel. All of these things are helping to support Gazwo. We are now at 9,240 subscribers. We've only got to put on like 2 or 3 more to get to 9,250, and then can you believe it? We will be a quarter of the way there to 9k subscribers. We'll be a quarter of the way to 9k in around another 2 or 3 subs. So it's amazing. If you haven't yet subbed to Gazos, please can you do so. Don't forget to your friends to sub as well. A big milestone was reached actually a couple of days ago. It sort of passed me by a little bit. But we have now gone to 6 million video views. Look at this just here, 6 million video views since we began the Gazwo's channel on the 13th of February 2014. Of course, I had the original channel for a couple of years, and then I created the Gazwo's channel to go with the website as well. So it's absolutely unbelievable that 6 million video views. Absolutely incredible. When you stop to think about when I start to think about my videos being watched 6 million times since 2014, what an unbelievable milestone that is. So thank you so much, everybody, for getting us to, to 6 million video views. And yeah, we're a quarter of the way to 10k subscribers as well. So we are going to do a giveaway, by the way, when we get to 10k again. So when we reach 8k, we gave away an Amazon voucher. We'll do it again when we get to 10k as well to celebrate getting to 10k subscribers. It's amazing the way the channel has moved. You know, the success of, I said this on New Year's Eve, the success of Gazwo's channel since last year, since 2020, has been absolutely phenomenal. And thank you so much to each and every one of you for the amazing support that you give to me all of the time. So thank you to all of you for doing that. And yeah, time to party. We've reached 6 million video views. So time to have a little bit of a party. We'll have to have a little bit of a celebration on the live stream tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We'll celebrate getting to 6 million video views, shall we? Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Right, let's have a look at what's happening with the stratosphere then. So, the Sudden Stratospheric Warming continues. The black line here is the current temperature at 10 HPA over the North Pole. This from the JMA, of course, has now lifted up to minus 20 degrees, or it did yesterday. Where we should be at this point of the year is somewhere around there, around minus 65, something like that. So we have lifted that black line up far enough now, I think, to say that we have definitively had a sudden stratospheric warming. The temperature low down at 30 HPA is also lifting up significantly now as well. So it takes a little bit longer for warming to get down to 30 HPA, closer to the troposphere than it does at 10 HPA. But nevertheless, that black line is now up to around minus 45 degrees. That will probably lift up a little bit more. And yes, this is a significant warming of the stratosphere, and I think has lifted up enough now to be able to say that we have had a sudden stratospheric warming. This is how the GFS forecast temperatures over the next couple of weeks. So it had a little bit of a split of a polar vortex yesterday. It's sort of come back together again, only very weakly though. With these blue colours just here. These yellow and green and orange colours over the Arctic itself. That is the warming of stratosphere, the sudden stratospheric warming, lifting the temperature up to around minus 20, you will notice. Now, as we run through the next few days, we'll see that easing off. So we can't maintain that sort of temperature for very long. So the temperature will drop as we go through the next few days. You'll see the black line on the JMA chart going back down as these blue colours of colder temperatures, 10 HPA, begin to push back. Not with a great deal of conviction, but the colder temperatures are beginning to push back to 10 HPA. But we get another sort of warming beginning to get going there, or trying to get going around day 10. And then a further warming, GFS is showing this quite consistently, a further warming occurs over Siberia as we get to the end of this GFS run. It looks like we're beginning to get another sudden stratospheric warming going there by the 21st of January. So it is possible this winter might contain two sudden stratospheric warmings, because that one does look quite significant again. That's beginning to get going over Siberia, and of course that might be the final death down for the polar vortex. We'll have to wait and see. This is from University of Berlin. This is ECMWS. So with this, the North Pole is actually highlighted by this black X just here. So over top of the Arctic at 10 HPA, again, that's one of the top levels of the atmosphere and stratosphere. We see we've lifted temperature up to around minus 20 degrees, where we've got these deep orange colours right now. In 10 days' time, gets us around middle of January. You can see that the temperature has lowered. It's gone back to around minus 50, something like that. So the temperature has lowered over North Pole itself. But another warming beginning to get going just here and just here. That will probably push up in that direction. So another warming beyond day 10 possible at 10 HPA over Siberia. A little bit low down to 30 HPA. There's the warming that is beginning to infiltrate down to 30 HPA at the moment. Again, this is all coming via the University of Berlin. And as we get through to day 10, again, middle of January, see that temperature has lowered off a little bit at 30 HPA as well. And then, of course, we wait to see where we get that second sudden stratospheric warming. Solar winds are now in reverse at 10 HPA. This box up here, again, this is from University of Berlin, from the ECMWS. So this box just here is looking at 1 HPA. That's the very, very top of the stratosphere. Does not impact the weather, but it does show that we have had a reversal. So it's at 1 HPA. They're going to bounce back as we go through the next week or two. This box underneath is more important, really. That's for 10 and 30 HPA. That's where I've just been looking, of course. So the blue line is 10 HPA. You can see that is now in reverse. So solar winds at 10 HPA have now reverse, and this reversal of the solar winds at 10 HPA will continue for a few days and then just sort of flatline away. At 30 HPA, close to the troposphere, we're still positive, only weakly positive, but we're still positive with solar winds at 30 HPA, but they are also predicted to reverse in the next week or so. So reverse of solar winds at both 10 and 30 HPA on the way. That is significant. And the GFS is forecasting as well. So this is from weatheriscool.com. So again, looking at solar winds. Remember, solar winds are like the engine that's driving the polar vortex. if you like. So you can see with this blue line that right now the zone of wind is just there at 10 HPA. Zone of winds have gone into reverse. There a big drop in the zone of wind from like where it was at the end of December. Actually, let's lift this up ever so slightly and you can see the date. So this just here is December. Back then the zone of winds were just there. So generally quite strong with zone of winds. But since the new year, you can see the way this blue line just drops away. It has reached like this zero line just here. So that tells us that zone of winds have gone into reverse at 10 HPA. If we put in the GFS ensembles, they're actually going to weaken a little bit more over the next couple of days. So a proper reverse of zone of winds taking place the next couple of days. Then perhaps a little bit of a bounce back there before another drop occurs just there potentially around the middle of January, before perhaps they start to push back up again by the end of a GFS run, which gets us like to 2 weeks out. But that's sort of a very, very long way away. Certainly zone of winds have reversed at 10 HPA, and that is important, and that is, that is a significant development. So we wait to see what impact. So the reason we look at this is that when we have sudden stratospheric warming and reversal zone of winds, it can connect back to northern blocking. Now the thing about this winter is that we've already had a large amount of northern blocking, as we see here from the AO observed and forecast chart. Remember, the Arctic oscillation is just an index that's reflecting atmospheric state. It's not driving anything in its own terms, just tells what the atmosphere is doing. So when the AO is in its positive phase, then we're going to have low pressure up over the pole, and we'll typically keep the cold air bottled up in the pole in the Arctic, and that'll be a signal for light westerlies normally. When the Arctic oscillation is negative, and you're going to have high pressure, you're going to have blocking over the pole. Now look what happened on the first. So we had a generally positive AO through most of November. But around the 1st of December, the AO went negative, so blocking began to appear at the start of mid-tropical winter, and the AO has been negative ever since. Even up to now, the Arctic oscillation into like 5th January, the AO is negative. We have got considerable amounts of northern blocking within the Arctic. The GFS ensembles, which are the red lines just here, they are forecasting the AO to remain negative up to the middle of January. So there's no sign, although we are going to see the blocking easing on our side of the pole as we get to the middle of January, there's no sign that the AO is actually flipping back into a positive state. So we're having a sudden stratospheric warming, which does increase the risk of northern blocking, but we have already had a lot of northern blocking without a sudden stratospheric warming. So what happens with this sudden stratospheric warming is going to be very, very interesting to see. What effects will it have? I think it will have an effect because it is a significant development. Temperatures reached high enough to send zone of winds into reverse. It is going to get down to 30 HPA, which implies it will probably affect the troposphere, which is the boundary level of the atmosphere where weather takes place. But quite what effect it has remains to be seen. I don't think blocking will go away, but we might see the blocks realigning into different positions. But it's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how this plays out. The NEO is very similar. Again, the black line shows that the NEO has been was positive back in November. Since about around early December, NEO has been neutral to weakly negative. We're currently there. We've got a negative NEO, and the GFS ensembles are also forecasting the NEO to stay negative up to the middle of January. So this would usually be a signal for like cold weather and blocking when we've got both the AO and the NEO in negative territory. I can say that by middle of January, most model of output that you're going to see in a moment is forecasting the weather to get milder with westerlies returning. But how significant that mild weather is, how long it lasts, it does remain to be seen, because these indexes are sort of showing that fundamentally the atmosphere is going to remain really quite blocked right way up to middle and into the second half of January. And in that situation, it would not take much of an adjustment at all to keep us cold, I don't think. So, and then of course got stratospheric warming on top of that. So these are GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. So the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Great Malvern. Great Malvern today. Dates on the bottom of the chart. So for the next 5 to 7 days, we're going to be solidly colder than average. So the cold spell continues for now. And yes, temperatures will be below average for the next 5 to 7 days. Middle of January, we start to get something a little bit milder appearing. We see all of the GFS ensemble members lifting up through middle of January, and then into second half of January have a lot of scatter. These ensemble members up here are generally mild. We have got cold outliers down there as well. So second half of January remains to be seen, but definitely a switch from cold at the moment and for the next 5-7 days to something milder around the middle of January. Beyond that, we can't really say what happens. Precipitation-wise, you probably wouldn't expect much effect from the Sudden Stratospheric Warming until like the end of January and into February, by the way, because there is like a time lag on the warming occurring and, you know, and blocking appearing within the troposphere. So it's far too early to be expecting any signs of the Sudden Stratospheric Warming within this ensemble graph, as it only goes up to the 23rd of January. Precipitation-wise, a lot of dry weather coming up over the next few days. Not continuously dry, there is some precipitation there around the 9th of January. As it's cold, that might be wintry precipitation as well. Definitely going much more unsettled into the second half of January as it gets milder. Looks like it will also get wetter. Shall we have a quick look at the extended ensembles? So we have a look at those. And again, there isn't all that much sign of any impacts from the Sudden Stratospheric Warming. You can see where we're starting. So this is going to get us into February. This gets into the first week of February just there. Can see we're starting off cold. You can see that by the middle of January, we've got this warming trend appearing just here. I think there's a little bit of a cooling trend here, right at the very end of January and into the first week of February, just there. Notice how the white line, which is the ensemble mean, is dipping a little bit. So the white line ensemble mean is around there through the middle into the second half of January, but at the very end of January and into the early part of February, the white line is under there, just a little bit colder than average. And that's when the coldest ensemble members are appearing. For example, that one there, which would probably be a beast from the east because it's going into -15 at 850 HPA. There's one or two others that are doing that. So definitely like starting cold, going milder, probably still quite mild there, and then potentially end of January into early February. Is that just the beginnings of seeing blocking from the Sudden Stratospheric Warming? Precipitation-wise, a reasonable amount of dry weather over the next few days, and then just getting more unsettled into the second half of January. So yeah, we should wait and see. You know, we'll wait and see what happens. But definitely, like mid-January, looks a little bit milder. Temperature anomalies from the 5th to the 13th of January are coming out colder than average through most of northern and western Europe. Milder than average across eastern Europe. It is going to be cold for the next week. Precipitation anomalies from the 5th to 13th January going to be drier than average. Winds are coming in from a cold easterly direction today. It's not a beast from the east because the area is not severely cold across northern Europe, but nevertheless it's a chilly, cold easterly wind, quite a raw wind in the east, and it is enough to produce some quite heavy snow showers in some parts of eastern England as well. Rain down in the southeast though. That's our latest UK Met Office model run is looking for Friday. Winds are in from a north-northeast direction, so it will be quite cold. High pressure then sinks down over country over weekend, turns us dry and keeps us cold. There'll be some very hard overnight frost, I think, this weekend. And then by Monday, we're beginning to get some mild air coming in around the top of this ridge, although we are trying to pull wind back into the north again, actually, by Monday across Scotland. But generally, it's getting a little bit milder through to the start of next week. That's as far as we go with the UK Met. This is how the GFS 6 days looking. Again, trough low pressure over country, high pressure out to the northwest. Winds coming in from a cold northeasterly direction into the weekend. The high pressure slips down over country, turns us mostly dry. But it will be frosty, particularly for England and Wales. Perhaps by Sunday, just starting to get a little bit milder across Scotland with those westerly winds. Early next week, most of us go into westerly, so it will turn perhaps not milder, but it will definitely turn less cold through the early part of next week with the air coming in off the Atlantic. Now, it's quite interesting. By the middle of next week, this is Thursday 14th, by middle of next week, the heights are already starting to try and rise again. Just here. So the low pressure is really struggling to come in from off the Atlantic. And we have got cold air sitting over Scandinavia as well. So that will only take a slight adjustment, actually, to pull the cold air back in from the northeast through the second half of next week. And at day 10, which is the 15th of January, again, we see these weather systems are really, really struggling to push across the country. I've got quite a deep cold pool across northern Europe at this point as well. Into more extended range with this GFS run. The Atlantic continues to show a complete lack of conviction. We do continue to keep wind in of the Atlantic, so it is less cold into the second half of January, and quite a deep low developing there. Now the 21st of January, looking a little bit stormier then. But most of northern Europe still looking really cold with that deep cold pool sitting across the north of Europe. Look at the upper air temperatures. So, I mean, the Atlantic is struggling, although it is turning us milder on this GFS run. But northern Europe is plunged into the freezer. And just supposing this low pressure was to go in that direction, just get some heights rising around there, obviously the cold pool is established, and then it would be game on for a beast from the east. You know, if you like cold weather, it is going to get a little bit less cold next week, but you know, I will keep watching these videos over the next few days and weeks, because I think it's still looking potentially like we could get a freeze at some point before too much longer, to be honest. This is how the GM is looking again. Winds in from the north on Friday, and then we go into the weekend, starting to get some milder or less cold air coming in around the top of the ridge. That's as far as we go to the 11th of January, and yeah, it is beginning to go a little bit milder then. So then as we run on beyond that into more extended range, again we get this ridge building over the country. There's a cold pool establishing over Scandinavia, by the way. You get this ridge building that turns us probably back to slightly colder conditions again, and will keep us dry. And then by day 10 we begin to push in a southwesterly. So the GM wants to bring southwesterlies in by day 10. Northeast Europe looking very, very cold by that point, and that will start to push down the eastern side of Europe as well, I suspect. Then the ECM looks like this again, dry and cold under this ridge over the weekend with a lot of hard overnight frost. Early next week begins to go a little bit milder as we start to pull wind in off the Atlantic. There is a deep cold pool establishing over Scandinavia though. Into the second half of next week and up to day 10, which is 15th of January, high pressure is to our south. But look how, I mean, it's just not a fundamental return of a westerlies up to day 10, is it? We're trying to pull in like a westerly, but much of northern Europe is looking very cold. Again, let's have a look at the upper air temperatures with the ECM at day 10. Let's have a very quick look at those. So again, you see most of Europe is actually looking very cold by day 10. We're trying to bring in this milder air from off the Atlantic, but I mean, look what's happening in all of these sort of areas around here, around there. All that's going to happen is this high pressure either goes in that direction, or maybe even goes northwards and sets up a block there, and the wind will go into the east, and the cold is already established to our east. So don't by any means, don't by any means switch off from this if you want some really cold weather. Precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from Tibetio.com, looking like this. So wintry showers in the east the next day or so. Then on Thursday, a band of rain, sleet and snow coming southwards Thursday into Friday. That could bring some snow through parts of England and Wales, where it does fizzle out by Friday. And then we go drier, but it will still be cold over weekend. Into next week gets a little bit milder as those winds go into west and we see more in the way of rain, particularly to the north and west. This is the option on the table. The ECM ensemble today for day 10, which gets us to the 15th of January. This from the Icelandic Met Office. 19 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure weight to the northwest, low pressure to our northeast. They're going to be cold, still bringing winds from the north. 13 have high pressure sort of over and slightly to the north of the country. That's a more settled type scenario. That includes the operational and the control room. 10 with high pressure right over top of the country, and 9 with high pressure blocking around Greenland, low pressure to the south, winds coming in off the Atlantic Ocean. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. So this gets us to the 20th of January. 15 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our east and northeast, blocking around Greenland. That could be pulling in cold winds from the north again. 12 with blocking towards Greenland, but low pressure just a bit further northwards with projections. So that's going to be an unsettled but milder option. 9 with a mid-Atlantic ridge. A trough of low pressure to the east. That's going to be pulling down northerly winds. 8 with high pressure just there, lower pressure out to our southwest. That's going to be milder and wetter. And then 7 anticyclonic with high pressure building through the country, but possibly actually starting to push northwards. That'll be dry and frosty. CFSV2 finally, these are 500 millibar heights, bringing down to week periods. The first week period takes us from the 5th to the 11th of January. The coming week has low pressure to the south, high pressure to the north. We're bringing cold northerly and easterly winds. Week 2 is going to be the 12th to the 18th of January, with again a ridge building through the country and going northwards, pulling down cold northerly winds once again. So that's keeping us cold to there. Week 3 is the 19th to 25th of January, with again a ridge across western Europe and building northwards. That's going to be mostly dry, anticyclonic and cold. And then week 4 is the 26th of January to the 1st of February, with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the northwest. Winds are coming in from the west or southwest direction, turning milder and wetter in week 4, which gets us to the beginning of February. That is 4 weeks away and is a long way out. If you enjoyed this video, please can you click like, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't get to your friends about Gav's Weatherwise. And yeah, if one of your subs brings a friend, we're going to get to 10k subscribers before too much longer. We're nearly a quarter of the way there. Quarter of the way, 10k. And yeah, so we'll wait and see how quickly we get to 10k. So thank you so much everybody for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think of the video. All of that good stuff. Going to be live streaming tomorrow from 6 o'clock. We'll live stream our 10 to 14 day updates. So everything we've done in this, we'll do in the live stream from 6 o'clock. And we'll have the USA forecast as well. That's back tomorrow as well. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.